Hi friends, my name is Crystal with Psychic MD and I'm here to do another reading. This is for the collective and today we are exploring wounds that need to heal. So for the sake of time, I went ahead and I already pulled some cards, and yes, I had to look. I was just testing out what the vibe was going to be like, and let me say it is quite on point. Not gonna lie, was a little discombobulated. But here we go. So if you guys are repeat offenders, I want to extend a very warm welcome, and for those of you that are brand new to my channel, just want to check things out, I am so glad you're here, and I hope that everyone finds exactly what it is that you're seeking. So, the wounds that need to heal. Have faith. Number 22. I always look at the number 2. And the number 2, I affiliate that with personal power, with finding balance, with finding and harnessing the positive and negative polarities and integrating all of those things. When I have the 22 here, it reduces to 4, of course. And actually the cards came out like this. So the next one that actually came out was love. So have faith and love. And I'm looking at her fingers actually entangled here, and I'm noticing a lot of anxiety. That almost looks like a doll. Interesting. And then it looks like this picture is directly looking down her cleavage. I'm just kidding. It's looking down at her. So that's quite interesting, these cards. But we will see what we need to see in just a second. Let's see how we can... Oh, that. And maybe I'll move that still. And then the last card I got for you was Sexual Arts, the number 33. Which I think is quite fascinating, and obviously we can't get too personal here. But right off the bat, I feel like in this instance, her head is kind of shrouded. It's like hiding your ideas, hiding your thoughts. But there's a lot of clouds, and I feel like there's a lot of nebulous thinking about the subject matter, which in this case would be love. I feel like there is almost like wanting to disguise herself. I mean, I know in the olden times when people used to go to prayers and stuff, maybe even still today, people would like cover their heads out of respect and things like that. But I feel like this is really talking about having a little bit of a disguise, I heard the word disfraz, which is disguise in Spanish. It's thinly veiled. And I even see her expression looks a little combination of like innocent and angry all at once, which is kind of interesting. You could have come from like a Catholic faith background or Roman Catholic or really any kind of faith background. But I feel like the situation involves faith. Faith in what? Faith in love, once again. And this is a wound that needs a heal. So I almost feel like... in here, the number 28, well, 8, of course, stands for cycles. It does stand for abundance. And the number 2, again, being referenced. So you could be seeing 22, the number 2 everywhere, or 222, things like that. But again, harnessing your personal power, having or being in your personal power. And then number 8, having abundance. I feel like that's what's going to bring about your... renewed faith and love. This could be platonic. There's many different kinds of love. You guys know this. You're smart. I don't need to really break it down for you. But you know, we have the platonic love. We have eros. We have, I don't even know the other ones, Agate. But there's many different types of love. And so I feel like you have a love wound that perhaps started in your younger years, okay? And it's something that's never really quite healed. I do feel like in matters of love, you have a lot of anxiety because, again, her wringing of her hands and also the fact that, like, she's indoors, I get that, and it's probably, like, some type of a mansion, but also the lights are really dim. Like, she doesn't have a candle to help illuminate the way, which tells me that perhaps you're quite in the dark about how to illuminate the situation, and that even from maybe when you were younger, you kind of had your head in the clouds, or you were told you had the hidden clouds, or you were not able to make sense out of things in relationship to like your personal power and having faith. Those two things could really, really be powerful in your life. Let me tell you, I knew this was going to be a deep read, you guys, because being as this is like, I'm still being led to going with the theme of having your younger years being mapped out a little bit and having faith. You know, we all are pretty much born trusting, I would say. And somewhere along the line, those things get taken away. Now, I feel like for you, trust is a major, major theme. So I feel like in this instance, again, this is like something from your youth and trust being taken away. And then you've had a lot of battles about personal power, about who exactly are you, about having your own destiny within your own hands, about having faith even that things are going to work out for you, faith in yourself and trusting yourself and trusting that you're going to make different or good decisions, or having issues when you go through like life's bumps and when life kind of like sometimes bashes your nose out. I don't know why I said it that way. But I mean, some of you guys could have had a really tough childhood. I had one of those, and perhaps that's why when I saw the cards, I got really emotional right away. I just feel like even in your younger years, you perhaps just kind of like lost faith somewhere along the way. Something was done that had to do with your personal power that was not in line with your like real true destiny. Or especially like your will. It was something that you did not want. And I feel like that caused a lot of anger. And maybe you could have spent a lot of years being angry at yourself, being clouded with how to clear that up, being angry perhaps with God, with spirit, with the goddesses, with your higher power, with source, whatever it is that you are really, you know, your source of worship. I don't know what that would be. But I think that it led you to a place where you were, it was, you know how they say fight, flight, or what's the other one? Freeze. Fight, flight, or freeze. And I feel like you've been kind of in the fight mode. Like when anything gets challenged or something like that, you're not quick, but you're like ready. You're like, you know what? If I'm going down, you're going down, and everybody around you is going down with me. That kind of a thing. And if you can't tell what kind of personality I am, well, there you have it in a nutshell. So I feel like love could have been really, really difficult for you. I feel like that cycle of abundance also can stand for obsession. The number 8 to me can stand for obsession. It also, if you bump it on its side, can stand for divine protection. But I feel like because she's just so angry, and there's like 3 2s right here, I feel like there were 3 people trying to exert personal power over you. Or 2 people, which would make sense, a mom and dad, typically, that kind of a thing, and then you trying to exert your own personal power. And things were really, really difficult. And consequently, you could, some of you guys have like an eating disorder, a nervous habit. It could be overeating, undereating, anorexia, bulimia. All of those things would be categorized. You could overthink things. You could have to obsessively count calories whenever you do intake any food, any meals, and things like that. I feel like, and here, this is almost like a memory of a lost love or a love. And I feel like that's always in the back of your mind about maybe a particular person. And if it isn't something like that, maybe if you're younger and you've never actually been in love or something like that, then it could be like your ideal person or somebody that you would think that you could love or would want to love, or someone that you just thought that you had a connection with. And I feel like it's almost like unattainable. It's like, okay, it's a pretty picture, the suit is nice, it's pressed, and you know, in my dreams they're looking at me, but you know, are they going to interfere with my personal power? That's the first thing that I would get. Is like you've had to fight long and hard and sometimes bitter battles over your personal power. And honestly, sometimes I'm feeling like you didn't make the best choices, but neither did I. And that's all a part of learning. Now, the sexual arts is here, and that's really interesting because I get a lot of clouds and the number 33. Let's see if we can arrange this to where I'm not like fussing with this, which I probably will still, but okay, we're just gonna let it be, Grisel. Let it be right here. So we have the sexual arts, and that is really telling a story about, it's a nice butt by the way, but how this kind of could have left you clouded. And because of clouds here, I almost feel like it was like a sexual deviation or something like that that happened to you. Some of you guys honestly could have been like trafficked. You could have been molested or abused in a sexual manner and things like that. I don't know how like freely I can talk on a channel like this without getting in trouble, but I've probably broken every other rule, so why start now? Or why stop now? But with the sexual arts, this could be even like thinking that, you know, I didn't have personal power. They're fighting for personal power, and you had to really have to work really hard to clear up in your mind like what transpired and to grow through things. And I feel like you've been through the worst of it, and I feel like this person's been in isolation for a long time in thinking mode. So it's something that you could have been like not dating for a long time, giving up hope on dating, everything else like that. And maybe perhaps you are a little bit, I think it's called agoraphobia, agoraphobic, when you don't really want to go outside. I think that's the term. But some of you guys can have social anxiety about leaving the house. Also anxiety about trying to be as pretty as a picture or feeling like you won't be accepted and things like that. But there's still this revolving issue around love that has not been resolved. I feel like you perhaps have been because of all the twos, and that could be like a tug of war, like a war within yourself and things like that, a war with others. Now if you underwent like these horrible circumstances, and I'm so sorry, I can definitely relate as well. Hopefully that you are, you know, being led to find some healing and, you know, getting therapy and things like that. Okay, so keep in mind I'm not a therapist, but I definitely see that this has caused you a lot of dark times. It could have been a really difficult time to get to where you're at even right now. And even right now, I feel like even if you're partnered, unpartnered, or like divorced or married or whatever the case may be, I feel like even when it comes to love, even your current love life, things are a little bit like nebulous, a little bit dark, a little bit like you have to be careful that, you know, you're always on the watch for people encroaching on your personal power. You may feel that you're easily overpowered, or another narrative to that might be that you might not even know how to reclaim your personal power, in which case there is a lot of hard work. You'd have to roll up your sleeve and, you know, get with it and hopefully find your path there. Okay, I just want to say, I want to give you some encouragement that this issue right now is actually in its last stages, the final stages. It's been as bad as it's been. You've had a really tough time. It has been a bitter crawl to the top. It's almost like an ascension here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like down on earth and down here and then up here and things like that. So I feel like you've been growing and evolving and ascending and growing and evolving and ascending, growing, evolving and ascending. And it is kind of like one of those things that it's not circular thinking. It's absolutely like growing. It's just like grief has different stages, and we grow through different stages. And sometimes we feel kind of healed and we can move on, not a big deal. And other times you just feel crushed and despondent and you can't like move at all. Okay, and I quite understand that as well. And so I feel like you might have been surrounded by a ton of isolation, like, and I feel like this is self-induced. I feel like you just don't trust. You had pulled away from everybody, and everyone is viewed with suspicion. And maybe even you can only look at people in pictures and things like that. But to think that you're going to bring like this person into real life, like into your home or something like that, is a totally foreign idea. Now, the good news, we have sexual arts. Well, that's funny. So it seems to me like for those of you that did have a past, like what I had, with a lot of like sexual abuse or whatever the case may be, it seems like even like the cure is kind of in a way similar to what the problem was to begin with. But I see this totally different. I feel like this would be having a partner, finding a partner that you can completely trust, and be vulnerable with, and that is part of it. But first we need to bring in the light. So let's find out a little bit more about this, okay? We're going to use these cards, just to give us a little bit of direction. Let's see how we do with shuffling, okay? Show me what I need to see for the have faith here. Have faith and healing. Show me now. Change, what I tell you. New season of life, you guys. So you do have a massive change. You have worked your ass off. An incredible undertaking. You have worked to the point where you have reclaimed your personal power. Oh my gosh, I guess I got to use charms too because I almost knocked them down. You've reclaimed your personal power to the point that I feel like you're in the middle of a major transition. I heard the word that you guys may have like felt like affliction, like finishing my sentence for me, but Spirit is saying you are undergoing a major transition. And so things may look like they're pretty okay now, like you are balanced maybe in a lot of ways, like more so than you ever have been before. You're not coming out of a place of desperation or making wrong choices and things like that. You've definitely been able to kind of master your own life, and in a way kind of like kept people at bay. But also I feel like you are in a position right now where you have kept the good out along with the bad. And so that is the point, like that's why there's another level to move up to, okay? And so I say that respectfully. I hope that that makes sense and it doesn't sound like I'm like passing judgment, because nobody has the right to judge you unless they walked in your shoes, right? I feel like you've seen many, I mean, it's a new season. You've seen a lot of change, but the change has been within. And yeah, you've seen changes like on the outside as well, but more so lately. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, if you're older, this could be years, not just due to like current events and things like that, that you are actually, you could have been isolated for a while, okay? Just feeling like I can't trust anybody else, or I'm doing too much inner work, or I just don't feel like I have people around me, whatever the case may be. And this is definitely due to these wounds. Oh my gosh. Okay, what is this? Mother of Air. Okay, so this is saying that sometimes you get clarity and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you feel clarity and sometimes you don't. And so that's what's at stake right now, is having that clarity, having that that confidence in yourself, that you have the intelligence and the wherewithal to cut out anything that hinders, anything that is actually toxic or negative for you. I'm going to actually lay it out the way it was so I won't forget. And so it's very important to remember that, you know, when you're going back and forth in between this energy of, yeah, I have the power to, you know, do good, you know, for myself, or the power to make decisions and things like that, that you try and make a real effort to remember that you've come so far not to enjoy the benefits of everything that you worked so damn hard for, okay? That's going to be super important, that you remember that you have conquered all of these battles in spite of your doubt, in spite of being alone, in spite of having difficulty, in spite of fear, in spite of anxiety. Some of you guys could be on actual like medication for your anxiety as well. And that, you know, no shade there. We all absolutely need help in doing whatever it is that's going to be best for us. And so I'm glad, if that's you, then I'm glad that you're getting help. Okay, so we're going to look at these other cards. Let's find out a little bit more about the love thing here. So the wound that we need to heal. Show me more about love here. About this wound that needs to be healed, please. Show me more for my collective. And show me now. Fire. Transformation, birth, and renewal. What did I tell you? You have worked so hard. And you guys, it doesn't have to be this dramatic. It doesn't have to be like this kind of a thing. It's any major wound in love that has stopped your progress, or has been a major albatross, or something that you have been unable to overcome, that has really consumed the way you think and really changed you in so many ways. Whether it's a betrayal of a friend, a lover, or something like that. But, you know, love extends through like most of our relationships, hopefully. Sexual art. Show me why this is here, please. Show me what I need to see for sexual arts, for the ones that need to heal, and show me now. I feel like I want to take these two. Create. Nurture your creative energy. I love that. You guys also could have very healing hands, and if you don't know it, I think that people feel really at ease when they're around you, very gentle, very loving, very caring. And that can go back to even, perhaps it was like born from knowing the pain of being like rendered helpless or hopeless or in despair or whatever, or rendered to the point where your wounds were so deep that you felt like you needed a healer, and therefore you became the healer. And I love this for you, okay? And I'm not surprised, because I think people that watch my channel are healers and light workers as well. Look, what? You can't make this up, you guys. Awaken the warrior woman within, or man. This is taking action. This is getting to your creativity, getting in touch with the moon phases, even your intuition, getting in touch with that creative spark of manifestation, of understanding that we do have a lot within our fingertips that we can actually work with. I'm going to move these. Of course, I'm not done fussing here. And even this can involve like maybe Sagittarius, or have Sagittarius tendencies, or somebody that, or maybe that's you, right? But that's basically getting fire in your belly, having your sacral chakra really worked on, and having that really become something that you focus on. What is it that gives you pleasure? It doesn't have to be just sex. It could be different things. It could be, you know, wine tasting, or eating great foods, or dancing, or having like the best bed to dive into, because the sheets are so comfortable and soft and silky, or having a beautiful robe that you love to cuddle with, whatever the case may be. But taking action is, you know, it is the warrior within. It's like, okay, even she's facing the love and the change right here. And there's a lot of rain, so it may seem like, okay, things might want to discourage you or kind of spook you, because sometimes we think rain, then there could be like thunder and lightning and whatever the case may be. But I feel like if you're like me, a lot of us psych ourselves out, and we're kind of like, oh, it's raining, it's a little bit. What if it hails? What if it storms? What if it's a blizzard? What if, you know, and all these like what ifs we get caught in our heads. Then we have clarity, then we don't, then we move, then we don't. So it's going to be really important for you to get into your creativity, all right? Get into your creative space, whatever that means to you, whether it's drawing, writing, publishing. I heard for some of you guys need to publish your book, publish your story, tell your story. For some of you guys, you've hid this for so many years that the idea or the thought of bringing this out to light is very, very difficult, or it just seems like, why would I do that? But by the same token, you know, I can't make a blanket statement that everything needs to come out into the light. Each one of us is responsible for our own journey, but I just feel like, how else can we help other people in similar situations? So take it with a grain of salt, if you will. So why is the sexual arts here, please? Why is the sexual arts? For the wound that needs to heal. Show me now. It feels like it's on the distant horizon, okay? This is like, oh, it's so far away. But here's the anchor, and if you make room in your life for it, I think it'll come a lot sooner. Look, the main female and the house. So we have a little bit of a repetition energetically of what this is. The main female in the house, whether you're an owner or a renter, whatever the case may be, check it out. 22. So we're in the year, as I'm shooting this, 2022. So it could be saying that the distance horizon has arrived here. And what you thought was so far off is no longer that far off any longer, okay? So distant horizon, I just don't feel like that's very far. I think it's a matter of perspective, of your mindset, and what it is, even your intention. Now, also with action and creation, I want to say that's going to be really, really important for you to manifest actively. Actively meaning from a point of reference of like manifesting what you want, not what you don't want. Don't put it out to the universe like, oh, I don't want people that are seedy, that aren't truthful, that are lacking, whatever. No, you're going to be thinking, exactly what it is. Maybe we can actually move it. I knew I wasn't done with this. Maybe you can look and take a peek at the picture that you have been kind of looking at, or pictures actually looking at you. But you can say, well, I want someone who is reliable, who will be with me in my home, somebody who will even look at me and continue looking at me with like fondness and love and care, even though they see that I go through my moments of anxiety, sometimes even of agony still, of processing things, of doubt, of fear. And then they help me to come back to a place of love. And you can put it out there, manifest it. Like, I want somebody who is going to be here for me regardless. Okay, sorry, I hit the camera. I'm like, look here, you manifest good things for yourself, because you've been through a lot of bullshit and you deserve the best. Okay, so let's find out a little bit more about this. Show me what I need to see, please. What about this card, this 33 card? This sexual healing. Show me more about this sexual healing and show me now. Gosh, the Hangman. So you've been waiting for a long time, and I feel like you're even though sexual healing has arrived, I feel like for a lot of you guys on your doorstep, like there might be somebody here that's like, oh, hey, let's, go on a date, or I've had my eye on you for a long time, or I know you, whatever the case may be, and you're still kind of like, yeah, I'll think about it. I'm just going to chill. It's like, you've been chilling for how long? You could be 28. You could be 82. I don't know your life. But regardless of what age you are, how much longer are you going to wait and waste? Tomorrow's not promised, right? Okay, what? Look. The Ten of Pentacles. This is something, I feel like this is a solid offer coming your way. And it's sooner than later. And it's something that if you focus on to manifest, you can actually really manifest it. It's interesting to see that she has her back to this person who's like eyeballing her, looking at her, almost like he's looking at her with longing, and she's like totally oblivious and all in her head, obviously, okay? She could be somebody who is really overthinks a lot, somebody who doesn't sleep well at night. I resemble that message, unfortunately. Show me what I need to see here about this 33 sexual healing for the wounds that need to heal. Show me now. Father of Fire. So this can be somebody from the past, okay? And I feel like in a lot of ways, well, obviously this person's like aged and they were moving a shaker back in their day. And if this isn't like a physical person in your past, this could be somebody like one of your ancestors. This person has experience. And I feel like they're even coming to say, look, and it could be even, a family member, or somebody who really wrongfully shaped your youth, something like that. And it could be like a family member, somebody that was a close family friend, somebody that was trusted. But they could be in a really different position from now. And somehow, I'm not saying that you guys need to forgive. Everybody's journey is your own. I've gone up and down with a lot of different things myself. Each person's journey is your own. I just had this flip out here with the Lovers. I feel like finding clarity in your situation from the past, maybe even talking to that person if it's appropriate. I'm not condoning. Everybody is going to be very much different, but that's something that I've been able to do with the Lovers right here. I feel like this is an expectation. It's like, okay, well, we can start our family, or we can start living. I could start living, and somehow this person, in a weird way, might be able to lend a little bit of light to the situation. Now, I never condone like giving your power to an abuser, obviously, but there might be one little tiny bit said that is able to kind of put your mind in a place where you're like, wow, I didn't realize you were that immature, or that you were that broken that you would think this way. Or it could be on the positive. It could be like, wow, I didn't realize that they have regret and they're older, and that it's not my place to judge. I mean, everybody again is going to be different, and I hope that you guys don't get too mad at me. I'm just trying to cover a lot of different bases. This is not a personal reading. It is a general for the collective, okay? And by the way, if you guys like this kind of reading, smash that like button, share, comment, subscribe, let me know. Okay, what else do I need to see? Why is the Lovers here, please? Show me now. Destruction. Yeah, and Judgment. I feel like, look, you have had a lot of, not a lot, but you've had, yeah, you've had a lot of relationships that wreaked havoc on, like, has eaten itself from the inside out. And I don't know why that's coming up, but it's like a destruction. It's almost like you were, in a lot of ways, like left emotionally destitute, and you had to feed off of the carcass of what was left. And so what I mean by that is like any form of affection was like a major deal. Okay, and I'm not talking down to you. I hope you know that. I feel like we're survivors. We're bad bitches. We're bad dudes in a good way, right? But we've had to survive one way or another. And again, here, Judgment, personal power. Okay, so I feel like with a 10, this is saying that this is almost over. This time is almost over. The Judgment. You've had to form a lot of judgments, and now it is time to break the judgment you've made against yourself. Have you not been in enough pain? Have you not suffered long enough? Have you not held yourself hostage to the point that you can't even move forward with what is considered like your life currently? Have you not like beaten yourself up for making mistakes in the past? And in the end, have you not looked at yourself in the mirror and seen a completely different image that is way beyond and way different and like not even a true reflection of yourself? And perhaps I would say that some of you guys have just seen also like a monster. Maybe you've even demonized yourself and berated yourself because you have had a hard time letting go or moving on or growing away from this. But this is heavy, and once again, everybody's journey differs. Show me what I need to see for the wounds that need to heal. What do we need to know? Show me now. The High Priestess, look. You're already in touch with Source. You already have a deep connection. And I find it fascinating that here, it's almost like looking at two different connections, okay? It's like you have not really looked at yourself in the mirror. This is what you look like, but not this person, like slick and broken and fragmented, maybe. I feel like those are the images that we need to let go of. But you are the High Priestess. I feel like whatever's transpired has really placed you in a position that you can really get in tune with your intuition quickly, easily. I feel like you can bob and weave and shapeshift into this world and the other realm. I feel like even spirits can actually come visit you, that you can see them, that you have an affinity for things that are maybe perhaps unspoken of. You could really enjoy things that are like, I don't personally, you know, like CSI or crime shows. I like the real crime shows, not the fake believe where I have to listen to stories about who's dating who and why and what they ate and what they were wearing. I could care less about that. So, you know, like the first 48 hours or I don't know, whatever crime shows, unsolved mysteries, like whatever your thing is, I feel like you are really drawn to those things that people consider taboo, consider a little bit dark, a little bit scary. And why would you not be drawn to those things? It's like when you were grown literally, it's almost like from dirt. It's like you were a seedling and you couldn't even see the sun, and you were watered, and eventually you grew and broke through that terrain in order to be able to feel the warmth of the sun. Yeah, I just had this card flip. So perhaps some of you guys grew in poverty, or you had nothing, or you felt emotionally destitute. Okay. And perhaps this is part of what you're overcoming as well, is like mental, emotional poverty as well. There's a cat right here. It's like the counterpart to you. And with you, I feel like also, and this is the bottom of the deck, with you also, not only do you connect with things like, I feel like you could be fascinated by like embalmers or mortuaries or coffins. I know it sounds really morbid, I apologize, but or taxidermy or wet specimens of organs and things like that. You could be totally fascinated by things like that. And once again, I feel like it's because we've been through the depth and the darkness that it's like, well, I've seen it all almost, you know? So, but I also feel like those trials or tribulations, I heard the brutality of what you had to endure and things like that. And Spirit just corrected me. So the brutality that you had to endure has really helped you to be able to be fearless, and also to be able to transform and walk into both worlds, this world and the 5D, or the world where spirits walk as well. So this could have to do with even open up a doorway to marriage or a union, a sacred union, okay? I do see quite a few threes on here. This could be partnership. But Spirit wants to tell you that even though this is devastating, and whatever transpired, you know, if it was physical abuse, sexual abuse, all of it, there's never, like, you know, a good thing about it. But you have grown so much. I feel like you have learned to turn these things that have been really brutal and really painful and really held you back and made you doubt yourself, and really made you struggle throughout your whole life. I feel like in the end you've been able to turn it into a gift. It's lit a fire in your belly. It's illuminated everywhere that you go, and it's turned into this gift that people are just now barely beginning to see. In number 17, it reduces 10-8. Okay. Yep. This is where you've been. This is where you come from. And so you realize that even in these things, you're able to help people understand, like, their own pain, their own, what they have gone through, what has been done perhaps to them, and how to recover what has been stolen, and how to resurrect what has died within you perhaps, which is like trust and love and an optimism and having faith, like we just saw in the opening. So adjudication. So maybe perhaps some of you guys are lawyers, some of you guys are maybe taking a case to court, or they're taking you to court. There's a lot of studying and a lot of knowledge here. Then we've got the message of despair. Let's find out what this is. I almost kind of feel like someone from the past, here, we're gonna put this here. Someone from the past could be passing away. Let's find out. Why is the message here in despair? It's almost like you got left with all the baggage, all the luggage, with your own loyalty. It's like nobody's been loyal to you. You've had to be loyal to yourself. And I feel like even at times, like, not to be harsh, but that you betrayed yourself. It's easier to be on a team that there's a lot of members than on a team of one. Some of you could have lost a job. What is the spirit in this message here, please? Show me now. Bravery, reversed. So you feel like you have not been brave, and that is so not true. Why is this despair and the reverse bravery here? Show me now. Yep, there you are, the Empress. So you've been through it. I feel like for some of you guys, you were definitely an old soul. I feel like things are definitely changing. If you guys can hear that, that is my dog snoring, believe it or not. I feel like you have been all of the queens, and now you're the Empress, okay? I feel like you are actually highly regarded. You do have and you're recognized for having a lot of talents. I feel like people understand somewhat that you've gone through something like really horrific. Now the cards here, we have the wealthy man and the lovers. And I feel like you fear making a bad judgment, and that's why you've kept yourself in separation and exclusion. No, what is that called? Isolation. I feel like this wealthy man's kind of looking at you like it's a matter of time before I can come towards my... Is that the same guy? It almost looks like it, kind of. But anyways, before I can come towards my person. So we don't read sex here. It's just energy. I saw the wealth card as well. And right here we have two birds talking to each other. So it could be that you're even talking to someone that has their eyes set on you and has been looking at you for quite some time, and you've been oblivious because you've been working through some major dark energies. They want to court you like the old-fashioned way. They really want to court you. They want to treat you like a princess. They want to treat you like the privileged lady here, okay? And there's an expectation. So maybe some of you guys, this can involve like creating family or expecting a baby, having a child, things like that, or expecting to be able to recover the child, the innocent child that was you once upon a time, and shape your new world and your current world into a place where you feel safe, you feel free to be vulnerable, you feel free to be content, happy, you feel free and able to be around other people without having severe anxiety. You feel able also to look in people in the eye and not feel like you have to hide anything. And in some humorous kind of way, I feel like this could be its own rabbit hole, but it's a rabbit hole of growth. So if you're somebody who overthinks, and I feel like you are, I feel like this is a brand new rabbit hole that you can go down. One that's healing, that you can find stuff and go, wow, like this person's here for me, or wow, this is like they see this in me. Why don't I see that in me? And maybe you can start building your own self-esteem even more solid, okay? And breaking the mirror of who you think you are, because that's not who you are. I feel like those things have been projections, and that is operating from a place that you are no longer in that place. You have a lot of resources available to you. You are tough. Like I said, you're one bad bitch. Even if you're a guy, you're able to handle it yourself. You kick ass and take numbers later. Like there's no limit to what it is that you can do. So I want to leave you with that. I just want to thank you for never giving up on yourself. And I hope that this message was a little bit healing, a little bit helpful, and a little bit hopeful. You do have a lot of good things coming here. And I feel like love is healing. It's self-love. It's being able to love who you look in the mirror without seeing a broken person or judging that person harshly or projecting. And somebody of abundance, like taking a shine to you and making a decision. So we all have decisions to make, okay? So I hope that this resonates, and let me know in the comments below if you would. And otherwise, just please do take a moment to like, share, comment, subscribe if this is something that you enjoyed. Thank you so much, and I do hope that you continue your healing journey. Much love to you, and namaste.